Hello everybody, welcome back. This is an updated how to use video for the VASSAL module 1.3 for La Bataille de Ligny. And if I said that right, by Clash of Arms games. This is nothing I put together. This is the my adaptation of the 1.23 module, I believe it is. I like to round my corners and put 3D in there, and a couple other things I saw. I added a dashed line to put the boarding quarters to easier do the thunderstorms that come into play in the game. So as far as how to use or what's changed, I'll just go over the whole module, but give all the credit to, boy, I should have had this up and I didn't. Not the sharpest tack in the stack, that's for sure. As soon as I see it, Kevin Graves or Andrew Pearson, Randy Yeats, they're all the maintainer and the contributors on this. But I just felt it needed it updated. Update the graphics. Change a couple of things around. Actually, let me go in and load in one of the pre-generated scenarios. Sure, I just thought would be a good one to do that with. All right. So, I did enhance some of the make some of the charts that were included in the module bigger. My eyes are not what they used to be. I also added the ability to choose solo as a side. So when you're solo, you'll be able to see all the obstructed units, or not obstructed, obscured units, and all the MUs and everything, and we'll get to that later. If I come in as the Prussians and I go over and create an obscured, let's say he's obscured. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Obscure. You'll be able to see them, click on them, see them, and is one of the things pet peeves I saw in one of the videos was people didn't like the fact that he wasn't rotating with the counter and in such a small piece, and those guys are bad eyes. I removed the inset and just made it so you can visually see it when you roll over it. If I were, however, were to come in as the French, I'm not going to know what's under there. And I'm also not going to be able to see the MUs of the Prussians. And we'll get more into that later. All right. Already went through the... nothing's changed on this page other than artwork. The counters, I just I have a button eyes and a 3D and a rounded process that I put things through, and I just love doing that to all my artwork now. I think it makes it feel a little bit more like you're playing on your tabletop than on a computer, and it just I don't know, it just enhances the gameplay in my book. Again, this is just my opinion, so, and that's about as much as you get with that one. Same with all the French pieces, the OOBs. If we load up the when you load up the OOB, it's all in here. I'll set up for you as was in the original. I really only had to change this to update a couple of things that I added that needed to have the pre-generated scenarios redone. for the changes to take place. Prussians, same thing, full OOB, and I love the artwork in all this series. It's just awesome job. So I think it deserves attention. So whenever I do a module or play a module, I end up going through and probably, I don't know how many hours of my life I've invested in doing artwork and modules, but I just can't seem to help myself. Game markers, etc. All in here. I did add, it doesn't show in here, but you're not going to need to use these anyway. I did add, we'll get to that in a second. The MUs. I put a return chits button here and on each of the MU tabs. All these can be sent to the draw cup, and if we return chits, everything gets sent back to their original places. Again, this is basically nothing really. I updated this the way they done the Mont Saint Jean module. So anyway, return them. They return back up there. I don't have the MUs down here anymore, and we'll get to that in a minute too. The timer, you should not need to use any of this, but if you're setting up from scratch, you can hit the presets up here, and it'll set the clock for you per the scenario. And turn-wise, all you're going to do is hit next turn, and it'll automatically move the clock for you. So another thing I added in there to make it nice and easy. There is menus for each of these, so you can reset it all if you want. You don't need to, and you can set the various minutes and the various hours. I don't know if I did a set minutes, but minutes is pretty simple anyway. Set the minutes and then set the hour, but you shouldn't need to. You're doing the scenario, the presets are all in there. If you make a mistake and hit this too many times, just hit your undo button for ease. I tended to forget the hour button, so I really felt that I needed to automate that to make that work. And I've done that in a few of my modules, so I decided to make it happen. I went with the bigger assignment, I guess you call them MUs, for the ones that go on the map. And I made it so you can move them around. And I did that because I think you should be able to... You may run into an opponent that's a stickler and wants to make sure that you're not trying to pull a fast one on them. You just pull your chit down. You can assign the name. I don't think that's changed. Just put tests in there right now. And you put that wherever, and it'll always be underneath everything on the board. And let's see. The other thing I did was made it so you can assign these to admin march. And you'll put this with the unit that's getting assigned the admin march. And you'll put this on the destination. Say I'm admin marching from there to Wagonly. I'll put that up here. And then when you hit reset chits, those will not move. And I did put... I'll get more in depth at it. Actually, I can show that now. I did the inventory, so you can see that there are, on the main map, you can find your MUs easy. I did, and same with all the counters. Big battles, you almost have to have that. So I added that all into this one to make it easy for that. Now we go in and we reset AM on both of these. We're done the admin march. We hit return chits, and they'll all be back in the MU tab again. And the other thing I did was when you assign it, when you hit return, the text will get erased, unless of course it's AM. I just felt that it's something I don't. It's nice to have them hidden, and you can still play with them hidden. But it's nice also to be able to show them to your opponent as you pull them out. So I made them movable for that reason. I always like my virtual dice, so I put them in there. So you can read the dice rolls up here as well as down here on the screen. And back to the inventory. Inventory just makes it easy for you to find the correct parts. It's all in alphabetical, just sorted by board, side, and pieces, and all in alphabetical. I put a move clock in because by the rules you can or should use a move clock in some of the rule sets. I have the space bar stops it, and I think it's control space. Starts the next one. You can stop these or clear them, and you don't even have to use them. If you don't want to use them, you just keep the clock hidden. Nothing changed with any of the controls. They're the same. Overview maps the same. Flip the counters when you're done moving your leaders. At the end of the turn, you flip your counters, and they will return. I didn't put that in there. It was already. I don't think I put that in there. If it wasn't in there, I updated it. Maybe I just updated the buttons. Hide all pieces. No, I didn't update the buttons. They were already in there. Forget what I said. Hide all pieces. They don't really need that because I added the terrain to the mouse over. So if you mouse over a piece, the terrain that's directly underneath of it will be showing. So I thought that was a nice touch. Just something to kind of add to it. So there you have that. Fired. Brings me to a couple of small changes I made in the counter menus. You'll see a fire volley, and I'll just put a little smoke graphic on there so you know that unit's already fired, and that will clear at the end of the turn. You can hit that, clear all those. The other thing I did was on the Army commanders, I put the menus in for the counters, and I added an Army command to show the radius, so it's easier to see who's in command and who isn't for them. And for the corps commanders, I did the same thing. At 6 hexes, and I didn't do it for division and brigades. If you can't figure 3 hex radius out, you probably don't want to play this game. And I think that's basically all I did for changing things. This one doesn't have cavalry in it, but should we put cavalry in? I did knock it so you should not be able to see, and I didn't actually check this. Morale, yes, just PGD on cavalry. They don't disorder. And I think that's everything. There will be a copy of this video in the menu. Hopefully this will be up within, I believe it's the end of the month or beginning of the month, first week of the month of April, I believe it is. This should be available to the general public. And hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. I'll be play testing it between then and now, but thanks to, I should really have this stuff ready. Andrew Lokes, who has replied to me that that it is okay. They'd be happy to host the module for me. So don't want to step on toes, and I want to do everything I do with the permission of the company and the creators. After all, it's their hard work that goes into these things. So thanks everybody for joining me. This is La Bataille de Ligny by Clash of Arms Game. And I hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you next time. Have a good night.